Imagine being a 12-year-old girl from a highly impoverished family who finds relief in the fact that her cousin finds her a husband who is willing to pay her family a sustainable dowry, giving her hope for some sort of a future for her 6 sisters and 3 brothers at home. She travels to Delhi, India, in excitement to meet her new husband, but is confused upon arrival at the sight of what appears to be a brothel nestled comfortably in the state's biggest red light district. This confusion soon turns into shock as she finds out that her so-called marriage was actually the best bargain her husband, or really her pimp, had ever scored, compared to his other 12, and let's just say cheaper marriages. After all, her parents had sold her for a mere 45,000 rupees, which when converted is about $1,000 US. She tries to run away from what seems to be a nightmare, but this resistance comes with a price. She becomes a victim to many beatings and starvation, and soon starts to accept this new life as predetermined fate. She becomes a victim to numerous sexually transmitted diseases, mental, physical, and sexual abuse, 5 abortions, and HIV. To many, this would be nothing more than a brutal, yet fictitious scenario. But for others, like a young girl from Andhra Pradesh, India, named Bhavani, this was reality. Identified as the 2nd largest organized crime in the world, sex trafficking accounts for nearly 500,000 women every single year, being exposed to exploitation, humiliation, violation, and desperation. These women are forced into trafficking by their families, their brothers, their fathers, their mothers, all through the fabricated lure of marriage, love, and employment. These women are stripped off of not only their dignity, but their fundamental rights to life, like liberty, security, education, shelter, freedom, things me, you, we all take for granted. But it doesn't stop there. These women are not the only people who are affected by this. It also affects their children, who are forced to follow in their mother's footsteps, or either venture on to hopeless life alone, filled with prostitution and pornography. Just when these women and children deemed their lives hopeless and themselves helpless, they found salvation in one woman, a figure who not only inspires leadership, but truly embodies it. This woman is Sunitha Krishnan, who is a co-founder of Prajwala, which when translated means eternal flame. And this is an organization based in Hyderabad, India, which aims to rescue women from brothels and also educate vulnerable children to guide them towards the right direction. This organization operates 18 different schools throughout the state and has rescued more than 4,636 women and children to date. But this organization not only rescues these victims, but it provides them with rehabilitation, reintegration, and further advocacy, allowing these women and children to get medical and psychological support throughout the entire recovery process. These women defy the odds by receiving training to pursue careers in welding and constructing and driving, all male-dominated careers due to the strong partnerships that Sunitha has built with corporate companies. These women, who came from virtually nothing, are now receiving wages higher than that of the national average. But that's not all. With Sunitha's hard work, the government of Andhra Pradesh has redefined their anti-trafficking policy and is in the midst of passing legislation for the rehabilitation of victims of sex slavery. This organization, which has been nothing short of a miracle for innumerable individuals, had to have originated from something greater than just a desire to help others. And for Sunitha, it certainly did. At the age of 15, Sunitha was gang raped by 8 men and is haunted by the memories of being ostracized and criticized by society. Being too young to understand the physical complexities of the rape and not knowing which way to direct her anger. She states, "We, as a society, we have PhDs in victimizing a victim. And that is exactly what she decided to not let society do to her. Instead of indulging herself in self-pity, she decided to take her pain and indignation towards something greater, something more meaningful for every little girl whose experience can relate. She did it for those women who started to normalize their lives and accept a life with no real future ahead. She did it for those children who never got the chance to dream of anything past a day of normalcy, finding her glimmer of hope in their eyes, despite everything that they've been through. I think it is fair to say that this woman is nothing short of extraordinary. Sunitha Krishnan is now 40 years old, and she has been beaten up 14 times by various pimps for something that she devoted her whole life towards. She has been the victim of numerous acid attacks and has also lost a member of her organization during a dangerous rescue mission. It's people like her that demonstrate the true definition of a leader. Not someone who's defined by the dictionary definition of a person who directs or guides a group, but someone who is passionate for what she believes in and has a determination to make a difference. Being a leader shouldn't always be associated with philanthropy or charity, but instead with simple humanity. It is our responsibility as the young women of today who have the fortune of access to fundamental rights, who have the chance to dream, who have freedom, who have shelter, who have education, to be leaders for those girls who don't. Every single one of us here has the potential to be a leader. All we need to do is invigorate our own passions and find what makes us, what inspires us, and take it somewhere beyond what we think we are capable of. I know that somewhere in this world, the likes of Sunitha have risen and inspired young minds to make a change. After all, if it wasn't for Emily Murphy, the first female magistrate in Canada who sought to challenge the old Canadian law that deemed women as not persons, or even Coco Chanel, who revolutionized fashion forever despite thriving from poverty and allowed women to change those unbearably tight corsets with more comfortable redesigned men's clothing. If it wasn't for these two female leaders, maybe things would not have been the way they are right now. Maybe women would not be where they are right now. As cheesy as it sounds, guys, we should never be afraid to give up the good, to go for the great. Because what matters is not the destination, but the journey. Whether you inspire one little girl or the entire world, every single one of us has the potential to be a leader. And all we need to do is find our drive within ourselves, no matter who we are or where we're from. As William Shedd once stated, and this has to be one of my most favorite quotations, "A ship is safe in a harbor, but that is not what ships are for." So break free of your fears or whatever it may be that is stopping you from achieving your dreams and set sail, ready to inspire, ready to lead, and ready to tackle any and all kinds of uncharted waters. Thank you.